Planting fruit trees is as easy as one, two, three. Or is it? Josh here. I've been growing fruit trees in the ground for 10 years and I've got hundreds planted. And today we're going to look at the difference between pot sizes and how it dictates success by planting them in the ground. All right, so we've got a 1 gallon, a 2 gallon, a 3 gallon, and a 5 gallon container. These are all pretty standard sizes. Now, this 1 gallon is a Bush Nanking cherry. It's really a seedling that popped up out of the ground around my tree. And I would love to put this in the ground today, but if I did that, it would really struggle because 1 gallon containers don't have a lot of root zone. The plants are generally not that mature, and a little rabbit or bunny could come by and just nibble off the top of this, and that would be the end of the plant. So you really don't want to plant 1 gallon containers in the ground unless you're willing to really baby it, make sure it's watered, protected from any pests. But you're doing a little bit of a disservice to the plant, in my opinion, by putting it in the ground that young. Now, 2 gallon containers, on the other hand, a lot higher chance of success. So this brown turkey fig, this is probably a couple years old, and it's got some pretty good growth on it, probably a really mature root structure. If I were to pull this out right now, and we saw some circling roots, that means it's ready to go up into the next pot size. But this tree is probably safe to put in the ground, but you still need to watch out for things like pests and watering because you're going to need to water it pretty frequently and make sure that that root mass doesn't dry out. And remember, the larger the root mass, the higher the chance of success and the less you're going to have to water it in. Now, this 3 gallon container is a Bosch pear, and this is really the perfect size to be putting in the ground. In fact, you'll see this size really often in a nursery environment. Most fruit trees are sold in 3 gallon containers, and this is a good size in terms of caliper as well. About thumb thickness of the trees, not too old, but the roots are well established, and this is going to give you a much higher chance of success by putting a tree of this size in the ground. I also made a heading cut not long ago, so you can see that right there. But this tree is ready to go in the ground this fall, and it should grow to be a nice sizable tree. You've reduced the amount of pest damage that could come from the tree, and it really is setting itself up for success. All right, next up, we've got this 5 gallon container, and this is a Tebow mango tree. Now, I'm not in an area where I could put this in the ground and it'll overwinter, but if I was in Florida, this is actually a really good mature tree and pretty well established in terms of the root system. And you can see the caliper of the tree is larger than my thumb. Now, generally speaking, I try not to put any trees in the ground that are that high of a caliper unless they've been trained well. And this one has. It's actually pretty short structure. It's got some nice branching low here, but this is going to be a safe bet to put in the ground. But keep in mind that this size tree is going to cost you. Plus, it's really heavy. You're not going to be shipping anything of this size unless you want to pay a premium. And I generally try not to get trees this large that I'm going to put in the ground. Again, they'll be successful in the ground, but you're just going to be paying a lot more for it. Whereas I like to buy the 3 gallon pot size just for that nice balance of tree age against growth success. All right, so I hope this was helpful for you today. It's a little bit simple, but really, you just want to make sure your tree is large enough, but not too large where it's going to be 8 feet tall and you're going to have to do a heading cut and the caliper is really going to be thick and it may not be pruned right. And if you want to learn more about growing fruit at home, make sure to follow me for more videos like this one.